Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Teaches Spelling. In this short video, I'm going to take you through 5 common words that are very tricky to spell and give you some quick tips and tricks to remember those spellings. As well as giving you some solutions, I'm also just going to give you a little opportunity to test yourself. So stay tuned and find out what these 5 tricky words are. Let's get started.
So the first spelling that we're going to have a look at is necessary. So we'll start by breaking it into chunks as such. Now, you might think to yourself, okay, well, the first bit, that's quite easy. The ne, yeah, not a problem there. And the last bit, the eri, yeah, might feel okay. I think it is this chunklet in the middle that causes the most problems. And it's because of remembering how many C's and how many S's to put in. So this is what I do. I think about having 1 coffee with 2 sugars. So that's 1 C and 2 S's. Or I think to myself about a shirt or a blazer. It is necessary for my shirt to have 1 collar and 2 sleeves. So let's see if that worked for you. Have a go now. See if you can spell necessary. Did you get it right? Fingers crossed. Let's have a look at another one. Spelling number 2 is accommodate. So again, let's break it up and see what we've got. So accommodate. When you split it up into 4 like that, every single bit looks easy, particularly because you've actually got a proper little word at the end, date there, so something that's quite easy to spell in itself. And actually, it's this word date that is going to help us remember how to spell it, because just like the previous word, where people slip up is how many C's and how many M's to put into accommodate. So here's my trick for remembering it. I imagine a date. Guess who's on that date? The C's and the M's. And I think to myself, those C's and those M's are going on a double date. So if you think to yourself the word accommodate, date, double date, 2 C's, 2 M's. And that works whether it's accommodate, accommodating, accommodation. Still, it's a double date with the 2 C's and the 2 M's. So let's see if you can spell it now. Did you get it right? Let's have a look at the next. Spelling number 3 is separate. Now you might think to yourself that's quite an easy word to spell, but where I see my students getting it wrong is about whether or not to put an A or an E there. So this is how I remember. So first off, let's put it into our chunks, and this is quite a nice one because again we've got a word here and we've got a word there, so you can kind of split it up that way and kind of view it in its separate stages, so set, par and then 8. But what I like to do is I like to imagine the ARA in a bit of a fight. So here's our A, here's our R, here's our A, and he's breaking up the fight. Thank goodness R was there to separate those A's in the fight. A-R-A. That's my way. Let's see if it works for you. Have a go at spelling separate. How did you get on? Hopefully you got it right. Okay, spelling number 4 is conscience. Conscience. Now, this is a slightly tricky one because the sound of the second syllable is sh when it feels like it should be s. So I've split it up into the sort of 3, so conscience. But this, like I said, is the tricky one. Now, the other way of thinking about it is to break it up into 2 words. And those 2 words are con and science. So if you can remember the way that science is taught, in the way that science, is spelt from your science lessons, then maybe this sentence will help you spell it. It's that heavy on my conscience that I had conned my way through science. Con science. Okay, and just keep your eye on that tricky little SCI here. Have a go. Spell conscience. Con science. And give it a check. Did you get it right? Hope so. And the last one, spelling number 5, is parallel. And again, it's another one where people trip up because of doubles, trying to remember which one is the double. So I've got 2 ways to think about this. So again, we can separate it out. And in this case, you've got par, you've got all, and L. So if you try and kind of think about it in separate little words or separate chunks. But I think the best way to do it is to think about gymnastics and those parallel bars, because your 2 L's are parallel, just like the parallel bars. So when you're trying to spell parallel, imagine a gymnast swinging on those parallel bars, and that will help you remember where the double is. So one last time, give it a go, spell parallel. Yay, you did it. So that was 5 tricky words with 5 useful tricks for learning how to spell them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful. If it was, there are more spelling tricks heading your way, and do check out the full playlist for other helpful videos on punctuation and grammar, as well as all sorts of other bits and pieces to help you with your GCSE English language and literature. Do drop me a comment, let me know how you got on with those spellings, or ask me any questions. Thanks again, happy spelling!